End of the day, it went great. I mean, you can make a lot of money off of any strategy. You can get a strategy that has a 95% hit rate, but if you don't know how to handle the markets and actually take a drawdown or take a hit, you're not going to be successful in trading, let's be honest.
When you just talk about your journey, where you come from, like before FOREX, and yeah.
Well, that's perfect.
Basically what we spoke about yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very funny story, long story.
Yeah.
So obviously after school, my parents didn't have a lot of money to send me to college or to university.
Yeah.
So I looked at getting a bursary or maybe getting a study loan to go and study something. And the first thing that popped up was LLB law. Okay. So I went out to study LLB law. The first year went great, was awesome. But while I was doing that, I was also looking at additional sources of getting income. And it was after a year when one of my mates, his name was Christian, and he came to me and he told me, you know what, Francois, check this guy out on Instagram. He's driving Porsches and Ferraris, and he's trading FOREX. So I was like, okay, let's check it out. Let's see how it goes. Everyone always jumps on the internet, go to YouTube, go to the internet and type in how to trade. So yeah, you get your price actions, you get your support and resistance. So I carried on with that, but as they say, you build up an account and then it blows. Yeah. You build up an account and then it blows. So I was never actually there where I wanted to be in my trading career.
So wait, what was your first deposit at the time?
No, the first deposit was about like 1,000 Rand. I was a student, I didn't have a lot of money. I was literally trading off of my student loan. Yeah. Okay, this is on camera. I was trading with my student loan, and I was just blowing accounts off the accounts, and I decided, you know what, I need to go and follow someone. I need to go out and get someone that has what I want to have so I can do what they do, so I can have what they have. So I actually met this guy in Cape Town, and I started trading with him, saw his strategy, and obviously taking his strategy and then taking my strategy and then just compressing it together. And at the end of the day, it went great. I mean, you can make a lot of money off of any strategy. You can get a strategy that has a 95% hit rate, but if you don't know how to handle the markets and actually take a drawdown or take a hit, you're not going to be successful in trading, let's be honest.
Yeah. You actually mentioned a very important thing, is that any strategy can go in. That's great.
That's the thing.
Yeah, but why do you say that? Because I think a lot of people at home right now watching this are like, they're looking for the holy grail strategy, if you can put it like that. And obviously, a lot of people looking for the holy grail strategy, what they're doing right now is that they're moving from strategy to strategy, looking for that one thing, that one strategy that works. So I just want you just to go a bit more into like, why is it that any strategy?
So it's pretty simple and basic to explain. There's a lot of different trading conditions out there. I mean, you get FTMO, FOMC, you get your NFP on Fridays. So there's a lot of fundamentals involved in the markets. So what happens is you get a strategy, you use your strategy, and maybe it works on a technical side, which has a lot of price, but they're not using the fundamental side. So they're forgetting about the fundamental side. So you have a strategy that works on a technical, maybe using price action or RSI or EMAs, but at the end of the day, it kicks you out on New York Open or London Open, and then you decide, you know what, this strategy is not working. So you need to actually find something that's combined with fundamentals and technicals and stick to it and perfect it. And that's also one thing that I've noticed with a lot of traders, is they're bouncing between a lot of different forex pairs or different commodities or indices. And the thing is, you need to focus on one commodity or one indice and one forex pair, especially in the beginning. so that you can perfect that strategy and just continue with that. So I feel that was also one of my breakthroughs when I was trading, is that I took a strategy, I made it my own. As I've mentioned, I've coached and I've tutored and I've shown a lot of people my strategy, but there's not one person that came back to me and told me, you know what, I'm trading this exactly the same. Because in the trading industry and in the trading world, everyone develops something to each to their own that works for them.
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of people actually get lost in everything, because they're trying to replicate exactly what is it that you're doing.
Yeah.
A lot of people need to understand that they need to find identity in the market per se.
Exactly. And the thing also is you can have a strategy that works, like I said, 95%, but anyone can go onto MetaTrader 405, they can click buy or sell, but the thing is what happens after? What happens after you press that button? Where do you put your stop loss? Where do you put your take profits? Where do you decide to cut 50% and move stop loss to break even? I feel that's also something a lot of traders struggle with, is what happens after you press the buy or sell, and that's where psychology comes in. So you need to understand what's the process after you've been taking the trade.
Yeah, you know what I actually want to ask is, how do you, because I know usually a lot of people want to know is like, how do you deal with the losing trade? Like how do you handle a winning trade, actually?
Okay, well, wins versus losses. So the main aspect when it comes to wins and losses is obviously risk management. Right, if you're working on a trading plan or a rule-based trading strategy and your strategy tells you you're working on a 1-to-2 or a 1-to-3 risk to reward ratio, and you know, all right, everything is set out in my trading plan or my trading strategy. Even if I take this loss, I can always make it back on the next one. For instance, if I go out and I hit a TP2, that's a 1-to-2, and I still take 2 losses after that, I'm still on break even. So that's something that keeps me focused, is I've developed a rule-based trading strategy which helps me, where I write down my rules. It's in my trading view, I can show you. It's a rule set out for me where I have an edge over the market, because now I'm not trading with emotions, but I'm trading with a strategic plan. So to deal with it is just to hop on into your next trade, but just remember not to revenge trade. If you're taking your losses, maybe sit back, take a coffee, take a break, analyze the market, let it breathe, and then enter your next trade.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people tend to miss that mark right there.
Yeah, exactly. They tend to overtrade or revenge trade, double up the lot sizes.
It happens so many times.
They're like, I just lost $2,000-$3,000. Okay, I can make 6,000. Let's double the lot sizes.
And I know gents who've done that several times.
Everyone does it in the beginning, but that's all you learn, and I feel it's a journey. And a lot of people, they would say, I'm going to get into the Forex markets and I'm going to make millions. Yes, it's possible, but you first need to go through that journey. You need to take those losses. You need to see that drawdown of 10-20% where you start like, oh shit. So after that you realize, all right, I made a mistake, and then on the next trade let's try and not duplicate that mistake, but rather go out and improve ourselves, and rather look at lowering our lot sizes, maybe moving stop loss or take profits. And that's how I've managed to deal with my wins and losses. Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, okay, so going back to the story, you're still explaining how you actually got into Forex.
We took a sidetrack. Yeah, so I was actually studying for 2 years LLB law, and after my first year, I decided to head into Forex. And after about a year and a half studying, I decided, you know what, I'm going to stop with this LLB. I'm not going to study anymore. I'm going to do something on my own full time. So my parents were like, shit, Francois, you know what? Now you've took out a massive study loan, and now you have to pay everything back. We're not going to pay it back. So I was sitting there, I'm like, okay, I have two two options. The first one is carry on with Forex. Or I have to go out and get a job. Okay, I have to do the 9 to 5 thing. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to go to a couple of interviews. And this is something I haven't told a lot of people, but I went to 4 interviews and I've got rejected with all 4 of them. So the first one I went to, they said I didn't have the right qualifications. The second one I went to, I didn't fit the model that they were looking at. So I decided, you know what, this 9 to 5 thing may not be working for me. Maybe I must just look at Forex and just go in full time. So I've built up a massive trading strategy, just focused on that, done a lot of research fundamentally and technically, and I just built myself up, started a live account again, and just went from there.
But I want to understand, so after those 4 rejections, basically, what was your plan then? Did you end up getting a job maybe after that, or
No.
just went back to just the charts?
Yeah, I went back. I was staying with my mom at that time, staying in a small room, sitting in front of the laptop 24/7. I locked myself in a room, and I was just looking at the charts, getting a mentor that I could follow, do what he was doing, just focusing on that, cutting negative stuff out of my life, and just focusing on what I did. I did a lot of self-development, hanging around the right people, not getting involved with the wrong stuff. And there were a lot of friends that I had. I had a lot of friends that always told me, you know what, come work with me, this Forex thing's a scam, it's not going to work out. And a lot of time I believed them. A lot of time I believed them. I gave up a couple of times. Said I'm not going after you blew an account, or if you blow an account, you're like, I'm done with this. This is not working. So the thing was just keep on going. I have to pay back this study loan. So that was my main priority at that time.
Okay, yeah, no, that's great. So obviously things get moving, and like essentially what changes? Like at which point do things change for you?
So yeah, it is quite a funny story. So there's not a lot of traders that went on this journey. But at the end of the day, I started trading with dollar as base currency. And it went well. I had a daily limit, I had a monthly limit. The first time, I think it was after 2 years, only in 2021, maybe begin 2022, I became a profitable trader.
Oh, the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so that's the truth actually. Well, I was making money last year, but it wasn't massive that I could sustain myself and live off of it. It was only when I decided, you know what, trading's not all about the strategy, but it also involves psychology. So I took a deep dive into looking in psychology, into trading, looking how the mind works when you enter a trade. And that's when I found out about an institution that offers trading Bitcoin as base currency. So I was like, wow, I need to check this out. So I got an account. I think I funded it with like $2,000-3,000 at that time. It was like 0.2, 0.3 Bitcoin. And I was like, all right, no, actually 0.02, 0.03 Bitcoin. And I tried that out. And for the first 2 weeks, I didn't have one single losing trade.
Really?
Serious.
Yeah,
So I was
why
like,
is that though? Why do you think that?
all right, so it's actually quite, after I snapped it, and I think it's revolutionary, I think it is a gap in the market that more traders need to look at, is definitely trading with Bitcoin as base, and it has all to do about emotions. All right, if you open up a trading account with, let's say, $5,000, and you go into that trade and you see minus $1,000 in drawdown, you start shivering, you're starting to stress. What to do now? Same with the rand. If you trade with a 50, 60,000 rand account, you go into drawdown with like 10,000 rand. I'm like, damn, this is not good. I don't like this. But when I was starting to trade with Bitcoin as base, and I saw like I'm in a drawdown of minus 0.0002, I didn't have the time to go onto the internet and see what the Bitcoin price was. So I was emotionally detached from the trade. So I could take it from my rules. I could set out a daily target of, let's say, 0.1 Bitcoin or 0.01 Bitcoin per day. and I could build up that account. And the thing was, I was busy accumulating Bitcoin in a bear market. I mean, where can you get that? So I would definitely say that was my breakthrough in my trading career, when I actually started becoming profitable, not just withdrawing once a month, but withdrawing sometimes once a week, once a day. So that was quite awesome. And the thing is, I could take it out in Bitcoin, put it in an exchange, and then use it. So that was, I would say, the breakout or the breakthrough in my trading career.
Sure. Okay, that is very interesting. I will not lie. Trading in Bitcoin is very different.
Yeah, it's a psychology game. It has to do with psychology, especially with the trader just getting involved in the market. A lot of traders in the beginning of the trade, they lost 1,000 Rand, or they do a normal 9 to 5 and they can only fund it with 500 Rand. And now they're losing that 500 Rand and they know they're attached to that value. So you need to become detached from the number and just set out a percentage that you want to look at per day or maybe per week, and then just go forward and looking at that. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, how does one actually detach himself from the money?
So, yeah, that's what I'm trying to explain is when you have a 5,000 or 10,000 Rand accounts, it's human. It's how we are. See, if you get your paycheck at the end of the month, you're smiling until the debit orders get taken off. So, yeah, it's human nature to attach something with a value, but you don't always know what the Bitcoin price is. Although you're trading with 2 or 3 or 4 Bitcoin, if I can show you a way to turn 1 Bitcoin into 2 Bitcoin, and then just detaching that psychology with the number, that's what worked with me. Because I always set out, okay, this is my monthly expenses. I'm trading full time. I need to cover this month expense. So if I go into drawdown with that expense, I get emotional, then I can't trade, I'm not in the right headspace, I'm not in the right mindset. So it was very tough for me in the beginning of my career to continue in my trading journey, because I was mentally and emotionally involved in the trades, and you can't be. So I took that aspect out with trading with Bitcoin as base. And trust me, I think you just need to try it out for yourself, and that will explain a lot. So yeah.
Okay, no, that's great. So, but I just want to ask, on the other side of like the costs of trading Bitcoin, is it costly, or are the costs not?
No, it's.
But wait, okay. My question is actually, you're not actually trading Bitcoin. You were trading other pairs.
It was like imagine. Let's imagine Forex and crypto. They were having a marriage.
Yeah.
All right, so. I was not trading Bitcoin. I was just using it as a base currency. But I was trading gold for about 3 years. It's my favorite currency or my commodity to trade. So I was trading gold. I was trading Nasdaq. In the beginning, I wasn't trading a lot of Forex pairs because I wanted to get some nice gains with a lot of volatility. So yeah, just trading Bitcoin as base, but not necessarily trading Bitcoin, but trading other indices, commodities, and Forex pairs, and leveraging off of that and increasing your Bitcoin amounts.
Yeah. Okay, no,
it makes sense.
Yeah, it's making sense now.
It's making sense.
Yeah. So, okay, I just heard right now you said your favorite pair to trade is gold.
Yeah.
So that's where you add gold full time, or what else do you trade?
So I must say, beginning 2019, 2020, I was trading gold because it actually it worked for me as a trader. It fit into my rule-based trading strategy, and not only just technicals, but also fundamentally. So imagine trading gold. Most traders think it works out well in London and New York, but the best time to trade gold is actually Asian session. So in South Africa, you have to wake up at like 12, 1, 2 a.m. in the mornings to trade it, because that's when gold's most volatile. So yeah, I was trading gold for a long time. I had a great technical strategy on gold. But then as I became a mentor to other students, as I like to help out other traders, I quickly realized that the strategy works on any pair. Anything that moves, it actually works on any pair. So I tried it on out on NASDAQ, worked quite well, US 30, your UJ, your GU. So it worked out quite well, and I just went from there.
Sure. Yeah, that's great. You speak about trading the Asian session, which is at 1 a.m. in the morning.
2 a.m. Yeah.
Time. So what I want to know is that if you're trading those sessions, what is your trading routine on a day? What's your daily trading routine?
Well, as you know, traders don't sleep a lot, but I definitely set out a daily target. So I feel any trader out there, don't just go into the market and say, I want to make $1 million. Rather break it down, man. Just, it's like, how do you eat an elephant? Bit from bit. So I would say set out a trading strategy and a trading plan and tell yourself, all right, I want to make 10,000 Rand this month. Okay, it's not a lot, but if you break that up into 20 days and you say, okay, it's like 500 Rand a day, let's do that. So when it comes down to my trading schedule or my daily routine, first thing is looking at London session, 8 a.m., 9 a.m., analyzing the markets, backtesting maybe what happened the previous week, and then just going from there. If I hit my daily target on London session, great, I'm done for the day. Now I can carry on with my other income streams. If I don't hit it, maybe I'm in a drawdown on London, I can enter at New York, and then I can look at hitting my daily target. So I do trade Asian session, but that's mainly only when I focus on hitting a daily target if I haven't reached it yet. But mostly I hit it between London or New York, and then I'll look at trading Asia. But if I don't hit the daily targets, I'll wake up at 1, 2 a.m. and I'll trade it till I hit. That's how determined I am. And the thing is, in the trading space and the trading world out there, you're going to have to do it full out or you're not going to do it. There's a lot of people that say, I'm going to trade part-time. I'm going to do a 9 to 5 and I'm going to just trade at the night. I feel that doesn't work. Personally, you need to set it out. You need to do it full time and just make it work. Yeah, sure. We can go through the strategy. All right, so when I started trading, I tried to keep it very simple and basic, selling off of resistance and buying off of supports, looking at breakouts, buying on the retest or selling on the retest. But I soon realized, you know what, I had to go into a lot of drawdown, especially when you're selling off of resistance. You're going to have to put stop loss above the previous resistance. So that didn't work out well. And then I went to another course where they explained to me a little bit more about MACD and RSIs and EMAs. And I was so confused when they took out the bank statements and told me to read down bank statements. I was like, this can't be that complex. And I'm a very technical, analytical person. So I decided, you know what, I mainly focus at the moment at price action, movement of the markets, up market, bear market, bull market, and then trend lines. So I firmly believe in trend lines. I've been trading it for about 3 years now. I used to trade candlestick patterns, but this year candlesticks didn't mean much to me, as you're looking at most traders buying off of a hammer or selling off of an inverted hammer just to get filled out on the wick. So I would definitely say looking at price action with volume to support that on a trend line is mainly the strategy that I'm focusing on. Obviously with other rule-based, getting into perspective, time zones, what time to trade, what time not to trade, when to enter. So mainly the strategy that I focus on is trend lines. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. How do you eventually draw your trend lines? Because I know there's so many ways that people tend to explain how to draw the trend line. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, so I can go into more depth about how I get a trend line. So Mainly when I look at a trend, it's quite easy to spot in the higher time frames. I used to trade off of the daily or the weekly. I decided you need a lot of patience for that. You can't be a day trader and trade off of the weekly. Well, I suppose you can, but you're gonna have to have a lot of patience. So I started looking more into the shorter time frames, lower time frames, 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minutes. So what I mainly focus on is fib levels. So I use Fibonacci. I have developed my own Fibonacci levels that I use off of. If I see a higher high breaking off of the bear market, you can see the trend is in a reversal and a new trend may be started. So mainly I use fib levels off of the first and the second touch to get my trend lines. And then there's actually a cool tool that I can tell you guys about. Instead of using a trend line, just go and use a parallel channel. It's set out on TradingView. So just rather use a parallel channel, look at where the trend is, and as I said, trend is your friend. Why do you want to trade against the trend? Like this year, it's been a bear market. From last year, December till round about now, it's just been bearish. I see so many people on Twitter and Instagram saying, no, it's hit bottom, we're going to buy now. It's hit bottom, we're going to buy. It's still bearish. Go and look at the overall trend. So that's mainly how I spot the trend lines. Yeah.
Okay, no, that's great. That's great. Okay, so I just want to ask you about what has been your most craziest trade?
My most craziest trade, it has to be about actually a month ago.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So FOMC Powell coming out was actually sitting in this space, and I entered a NAS trade just before the Powell speech. I was actually watching the fundamentals, and my investing.com was showing that the speech was only going to be at 3. So I had positions open in a short position, but that was actually just a fundamental trade. And Powell's speech came out at 2. And I think I booked like 3,000 pips in less than 10 minutes. Yeah. I'm not going to talk about the lot sizes, but it was a decent trade. Could have set you up. Yeah, it was a decent trade.
On the opposite side, what has been like your biggest loss? And I don't mean loss in terms of monetary terms, but I mean loss in the sense of like when you look at the trade, you felt like you lost, like you probably lost.
That has to be on gold. Has to be on Goldilocks, man. So because I've been trading gold for about 2-3 years now, I still look at it, I still analyze it, backtest it, and there was a massive support around 1684. Everyone knows that's the support for gold, and I was just buying off of that level the whole time because it was just like 90% it's going to go up. But everyone knew it's going to drop at that point. And actually I had a buy limit in at that point. And that's where I took a major loss on that trade. And I wiped out more than I wanted to. And the thing is, when I take a loss on a trade, I just like to be alone, go into my own space, sit there, look at it. But yeah, it takes me about 10-20 minutes and then I'm over it and I just jump back into the trade. But in my trading journey, in the full 3-4 years I've been trading now, there's been a lot of weeks that traders don't know. You can have a winning week, you can have a winning month, that's great, but there's always losses. There's a week where I've lost about 20%. There was another week where I was losing 25%, not hitting 1 TP. So that was also very tough for me to carry on and deciding what I need to do next. But as I mentioned, you just need to keep going. Just know that your strategy works. Just focusing on staying with your rules, sticking to your rule-based strategy, and just going on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's great. But what was the biggest lesson that you took from that loss, that gold loss?
Don't ever move stop loss. Yeah. That's definitely, that's one massive mistake, man. So as I've mentioned, if you enter a trade and you go into drawdown, all traders are like, oh no, it's going to turn around, turn around, I'm going to go into profits. And then if you're in a profitable trade, you're like, I'm going to leave it, I'm going to milk this, it's going to make a lot of money. So I would definitely say if you have a stop loss and that's the amount you're willing to lose or to risk, don't ever move your stop loss, because maybe it works out once or twice, but 8 out of 10 times it doesn't work. So don't move your stop loss if you have it in place. Definitely.
So I was on your Instagram actually, and I see that. I want to ask the question of what has trading enabled you to do?
Very interesting story. All right, so as I mentioned, we didn't have money to go and study, and I wouldn't say it was tough, but yeah, we lived decent, normal. But I always knew, you know what, I wanted to stand out. I wanted to make millions. My dad always makes this joke where he says, you know what, Francois, you made your first million before 21, and then you went and lost that million before 22. So that was always a joke we try to make. But the thing is, the hardest part is to make your first. But once you've reached that, you know how to do it, and you can just continue doing that. So after I've managed to focus on my trading and becoming a profitable trader, I started looking into property. Okay, so I'm 23 at the moment, and about, let's say 6 months ago, I bought my dream house just down the road. Yeah, we can go check it out.
We won't even mention the location, but like where we're at, next thing people are coming here.
So it's about 8 bedrooms. Bought my cars in the garage, got my bakkie. So that's definitely just happened overnight. I know they said like overnight success, and I feel like it's just all those nights, all those hours I put in, just keep on going. I've managed to buy my dream house, get the car, get everything in place, busy building the next property, investing into other businesses. So just diversifying the portfolio, and just working better with funds. I know there's a lot of people, as soon as they hit their first ball million in trading, they like, okay, first thing, let's get the Lambo, or let's get the Ferrari, or let's go out and spend it at a club. But that's liabilities, and I'm going to go to facts. It's liabilities. You need to look at assets. So the first thing I needed to do was build up assets. Okay, take those funds that I'm making from a trading account. I've profits on those accounts and on those funds. So why do you want to go and waste it? Rather take it out and put it into something that's building your wealth, building your portfolio. So that's definitely from a young age. Been hustling, selling stuff. The thing for me was, I know where I wanted to go, and I was surrounded by people with massive houses, mansions, and they have the cars and they have the lifestyle, but why don't I have it? I mean, like, if they can do it, obviously I can do it. People on Instagram going on vacations, going to Dubai, driving the dream car. I see so many people buying crypto in 2017, they're 16, 17, 18, and they said they're fully retired. And I'm like, come on, man, I can do this as well. It can't be that difficult. Trust me, it's difficult. It's not that easy. So what I did was I just set out a plan, went through some personal development, knew where I wanted to go, and just made it happen. Yeah.
Nah, that is wild. It's very wild. Wow. No, thank you very much. I'm sitting here and I'm feeling so inspired, honestly. So motivated by the stuff that you said. And thank you so much for just being so open and transparent about what you do on the charts and everything. And I feel like people, if you're watching this at home, I hope you're taking something home with you. And I really do feel like maybe you're starting a new era of people trading with Bitcoin.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think that's what you're trying to push,
That's
right?
definitely what it is. It's a psychology game. Trading, anyone, like I said, anyone can press the buy or sell button, but it's not just that. It's you have to be mentally and emotionally involved with what's going to happen next. And I feel I got that breakthrough with trading with Bitcoin as base. It just took me to the next level, breaking that psychology barrier of I'm losing that amount of money. I don't have time to go into the internet bar and to type in, okay, what's 0.02 Bitcoin right now? Okay, so I don't have time for that. Just set out a daily target, keep hitting that, and just continue. And the thing is, like everything in the world or anything you want to do is just to stay consistent. If you stay consistent in what you're doing, you'll reach what you want to reach. So if you're going to lack one day, or if you're going to procrastinate on one day, you're going to fall behind. You need to stay consistent with your strategy. If you're saying you're risking 1 to 2 and on the next trade you're actually risking a 2 to 4, or you're not following it, you're actually just falling behind. So just to stay consistent.
It's like, what's the one piece of advice that you would give you a bit at the age of like 19, per se? I think just when you left high school, what would you now tell me back then?
Don't trade with funds that you are not willing to lose.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was one thing that I wish I knew earlier. Never trade with funds that you are not willing to lose. As the market is unpredictable, yes, you have an edge over the markets, but it's still trading. It's still trading. So if I had to go back, I would definitely say, you know what, stick with a plan. Write down. The thing is, you can go out and say, okay, it needs to be volume, it needs to be trend line, it needs to be this candlestick. But you can keep this here, but you need to actually go and write it down. Go and create a trading rule-based strategy, write it down, and then follow that. The reason behind that is now you don't have an emotional connotation to that trade, but now you actually have a strategic edge over the market. So now I feel more comfortable with entering the trade because I know this, and this needs to happen. This rule needs to happen. Did it happen? Yes. Did this happen? Yes. Did that happen? Yes. Now I can take the trade. Now I'm more comfortable with the trade, and now I know I can leave the trade. I have my stops in, I have my TPs in, and I know what happens need to happen. Even if I take that loss, if we take 10 trades and I lose 3 trades, the other 7 are still hitting TP, although I hit lost 3. So any advice I would give myself 2-3 years ago is don't trade with funds that you're not willing to lose, and go out and set out a trading based strategy, and then just stick with that. Definitely.
Perfect.
Yeah, cool,
Thank
man.
you so much for writing about it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I really do appreciate the invite. And yeah, no, definitely this will not be our last sit down. There will be another sit down as well.
Definitely. Thanks.
Guys, I'm sitting here with Francois Van Der Merwe, from a trader, a profitable trader.
Profitable
Let's
trader.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, guys, thank you so much for watching another installment of Market Masters. You know, I'm sitting down with all your favorite traders in the industry right now, and see you guys on the next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye.